now it's time for the Red Green Show starring Red Green. What more? Oh, Red Green Show, all about nature and wildlife and how they can be killed. Starring my uncle. Can't the camera move faster or something? Come on, hurry up. Starring the man of the hour. The host with the most. The woodsman's woodsman. Or I'd like to say the woods person because I'm trying to make this show non-sexist. You know, the other guys around here, they don't care. They haven't be as offensive as can possibly be. It's a full-time job for me.
Thank you, Harold.
Sure.
Thank you, and welcome to the show. I got a heck of a show for you this week. We had a treasure hunt up at the lodge here and went looking for gold. But all we found was fool's gold. Speaking of which, Harold, come on over here a sec. Harold is my nephew and the producer-director of the show, and he has this fancy little Wizmo right here.
Yeah, it allows me to do things like this. And thank you very much for noticing.
Well, Harold, you're not going to need that little Wizmo for a while this week, because I got a heck of a story for the fans here. We were all up in the attic at the lodge looking for old man Sedgwick, and we found an old trunk, and it had a padlock on it, and we got the crowbar, but it just wouldn't come loose, so we got 3 or 4 10-pound sledges, and we just creamed the darn thing, you know, and when we got inside it, there was something, I guess it had been made of glass. It was now just in pieces and shards and so on. Got broke somehow, I guess, probably valuable at some point. But the interesting thing here is we found a map, and the map had an X on it. You know what an X is for?
Yes. Cue up the next segment.
Harold, X is for buried treasure.
Well, it's buried now.
Who's that hiding in my bedroll? Is it you, Mary Brown? Way down where I can't see you, wanting to go to town. Who's that hiding in my bedroll? Is it someone on a flirt? I reach in and grab you down there. Oh, for gosh sakes, it's just my old shirt. This week, Handyman Corner, I'd like to show you that a toilet is an asset. You know, there was a time when we'd have an old baby like this and we just would throw it in the middle of the lake. But now it's getting to the point we got so many fixtures and appliances and whatnot out there that it's just you're risking your prop every time you do a power turn around the canoe club. So it's a lot better if we come up with some other use for these things, and I've done just that. Now the first step on this, after the hernia, what you want to do is, to get it apart, is to loosen the bolts a bit on her. You got to expect a certain amount of breakage on these, but it doesn't really matter because all we're going to use is the tank on the back. So as you can see, I've got the back of the tank separated here, and I've attached these car seat belts. I was only sitting on them anyway, and I've used a handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. So now what we have is your portable ceramic beverage cooler. What you do is you put some ice in there, throw in some of your favorite beverages, pop the lid on here. And on a day when you know you're going with this thing, you might want to have a couple of steroids for breakfast. Roll the unit up onto your shoulder, and you're on your way. Now, a lot of guys say you should use beer for this because it ends up in the toilet anyway. You might as well start there. And you know, when the ice melts with this baby and you want to get rid of the excess water, no problem. So until next time, remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. We'll be right back with the rest of the treasure hunt story.
Be still, my trembling heart.
That can be arranged. You know, Harold, one of the things I enjoy most most about the lodge is cooking over a log fire, you know, just right out in the outdoors there. And doesn't that make the food taste special? Huh?
Special's a strong word.
Well, it
Makes it taste burned.
Well, okay, there's a little bit of, there might be some carbonization on there, but that's healthy for you.
No, it's not. It gets in your system and it makes your stomach go all black. That's why you should cook in a stove.
No, it's carbon. That's what plants eat. Carbon.
Burned hot dogs? Think again. There's no way that a plant's going to take the time to put a hot dog on a stick. They'd have to tear its own stem off. To do that, it just wouldn't happen. That's why they have stoves.
All right,
for plants to eat properly.
No, they don't have stoves for plants.
Yes, they do. It's a hothouse.
That's not a stove for a plant.
Have you ever been in one?
Well, at the Stag I was. What did you say again?
It's a hothouse.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. My mistake. It is winter. Children rush past, pulling sleds and toboggans. Shoppers hurry by, heads bowed against the wind. And to each you call out a familiar refrain. Call 911, I've slipped and broken my back. Anyway, just to get back to this buried treasure thing, this was kind of exciting. We're all up there in the attic, and we got the treasure map out, you know, and we poured over it, and we poured around it. We even poured some right on it, you know, and trying to figure out exactly where the X was. And we figured out that it was probably halfway between the lodge and the old mill down the road. But now the old mill, of course, didn't show up on the map because it's less than 400 years old. But the lodge was there. So anyway, off we go. We took compasses and maps and ropes and pickaxes and a backhoe. And we got there about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We figured we were right in the perfect spot where a pirate would bury treasure. Went right on top of a hill, under some trees, easy to spot, and only about 500 miles from the sea.
Excuse me, Uncle Red, but there's been something I've been wanting to do ever since you started talking.
Well, where are we now, Harold?
I'll draw you a map.
You know, Hap, there is nothing more fun than fishing with your best friend.
Well, this comes close, Red.
Great day. Not too sunny, not too windy.
Well, the wind is going to come up later from the southwest. Ought to get to about 30, 35, taper off around sundown, scattered showers overnight. Sun would rise at 6:37 tomorrow.
I don't know all that stuff.
You got to know how to read the weather when you're a farmer.
Farmer, Hap? You were a farmer?
Oh, sure. Back in my 20s. Bought me a little spread out west, started a farm.
What'd you grow? Wheat?
No. Rubber. Anybody can grow wheat. How many rubber farmers do you know, Red?
Just you.
Well, I bought me this little piece of land and 240 rubber trees from, where's that country with the things?
Malaysia?
Yeah. Anyway, I planted these rubber trees right in the prairies.
Well, Hap, I thought rubber trees would only grow in a tropical rainforest.
We had them in greenhouse, big greenhouses, attached to the back of a tire factory. Blob of rubber oozes in one end, and steel-belted, white-walled, radial bias, ply, snow tires pop out the other. I was all set to make my first tire and turn a little profit when all my creditors closed in all at once. The only rubber that factory ever produced was my own checks.
Yeah, creditors are like that sometimes.
Well, look, it gets to be where you can't believe a word they say.
I know the feeling. Oh, she's full of rust, and the brakes are shot. The tires are bald, and she shakes a lot. She burns a lot of oil, and she's hard on gas. But I got 37 more payments, so I'll be keeping her.
Oh, Uncle Red, this is so great. We got such an excellent letter today. It's from the Yukon. Yeah, I put the stamp in my time capsule.
Yukon, eh, Harold? Land of the midnight sun. Dog sleds, igloos. 6 months of daylight up there, you know. They got the gold rush up there, and polar bears, penguins. Quite a place.
Wow, sounds great. Woo! Okay, dear Red, living up here in the Yukon is great. The only problem is the people from the south who stereotype us northerners. They think of the Yukon as the land of the midnight sun, with everyone on dog sleds, living in igloos and hunting seals for 6 months of daylight. Tourists ask us where the gold rush is and where they can find polar bears and penguins. What kind of idiot doesn't know that penguins are only in the South Pole?
I think the main problem there is with the foreigners. You know, they go up north and they're expecting to see snowmobiles and Mounties, you know. And when's the last time you saw a Mountie, Harold? I don't think I've ever seen a Mountie, you know. I don't think Mounties even exist. How about this viewer? When's the last time you saw a Mountie, Mr. Does he give his name there?
Yeah, it does. It's Corporal H. Benson of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police White Horse Detachment.
Okay, sorry, Corporal Benson. No offense there. You guys are doing a great job, and it's a great Canadian tradition that you're carrying on there. You fellas up. Now, I'll tell you one thing, Corporal H. Benson. If we have to have one stereotype, then let it be the Canadian Mountie in his bright red uniform. I salute you, sir.
Already, the H stands for Helen.
We have another winter activity we're featuring on our Adventures with Bill segment this week. This, of course, is, as you can tell, a snowshoe. Now, the first thing you need to do is to measure the snowshoes. They're supposed to be... Yeah, that hurt. I remember that, yeah. It's supposed to have something to do with your height. Anyway, Bill is an absolute expert on snowshoeing. I think he's been snowshoeing ever since he was smaller. And so I was just guessing how to put them on. I didn't realize there was a a better technique. And then again, like Bill's been doing it for quite a while, and I probably should have paid more attention to him. Mind you, he did get my attention there. But I think what happened there, Bill just got fed up with me not doing it the right way, and just decided he just would do it the way he did. Yeah. Well, you know, he's good that way. You know, he's not pushy. You know. Golly, those are kind of crossed over each other, right? Well, as I say, he knows what he... You know, sometimes people are better teachers than they are at actually doing the activity, and I think Bill kind of falls into that category when you're talking about snowshoeing. Unless this is a technique that's designed for some specific environment. No, I think that's just plain wrong. One of the most difficult things with snowshoeing is turning around, because they're a lot bigger than yours. So, I mean, I was guessing here, but Bill has a really interesting technique, and it's, you know, if you have a lot of time on your hands, I think this is the right technique to use. Certainly interesting to watch, and it does scare all the wildlife away. There is that aspect. But now Bill's going to show you several techniques of turning around. This one I thought was particularly, I guess, creative, for lack of a better word. And there he goes. Yeah, that worked real well. Now here's one too that, you know, again, a little different technique. But, you know, if you're creative, and if you have a 6-foot staff, there you go. And he's right around, and away we go. You know, as I say, for me, I would just turn on the snowshoes. But he loved this one. He wanted to try this a few times. Oh boy. Now, here's something real interesting. You can make your own snowshoes out of a set of tires. Oh, this was kind of... we always kid Bill, he's kind of a pull start. Well, anyway, yeah, you put your foot in the tire. It doesn't even have to be snow tires, you know. And then you use rope to make the webbing for it. So we got Bill's one leg in there, and then we got kind of kibitzing around. Well, I did. Yeah, all right, I did. Yeah, he reached for the other tire, and he kind of fell down. And you know, what I did was I thought I'd have some fun with him, so I got the tires up, and I thought I would just push him down the hill. You know, Bill loves this. He really enjoyed this. When he spoke to me from the hospital, he said, you know, Red, that was really different. And he lost consciousness again.